All right. So, hello, all those folks listening to us and watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Howdy to you guys. For those of you who are listening on Spreaker, well, howdy to you. I have Spreaker, but I have no idea really how to do podcasts. I need to learn how to do it. I have it on Spreaker, but I don't know. What are you going to do? For those of you on Clapper, howdy to you. And for those of you who are on TikTok, well, howdy to you guys as well. So thank you for just refresh, and then it'll match up. So okay, we are here, and I appreciate you spending your beautiful Saturday evening with us. Yeah, it's sometimes on TikTok it doesn't do that. If my voice isn't matching up to the video, just refresh it, and then it should work just fine for you. It's one of those things of streaming, the rapture will happen tomorrow. Oh, that's right. Yeah. There were videos all over the place about the rapture happening tomorrow. Da-da-da-dum. But we're going to be here tomorrow. So anyway, I promise you. So for those of you, first of all, a couple things that I want to tell you about. Always make sure you please go to KGRADB, KGRADB.com. And put Bishop as your promo code. Okay, go to that website. It's a great website. If you love, well, thank you very much. I appreciate you being a fan, and welcome. So KGRADB.com. But put Bishop in your promo code when you subscribe. It's very cheap. They produce the shows. And so when you go to the site, they have paranormal shows everywhere. They're very, very affordable. But if you put Bishop as your promo code, you're going to get 30% off your subscription. So make sure you do that, everybody, okay? It's going to save you money. Again, the website is KGRAD as in dog, B as in bicycle.com. Okay? Now, if you want to go to my website, it's very, very easy. BishopJamesLong.com. There you go. Simple, easy peasy. There you go. No problem at all. BishopJamesLong.com. And if you go there, you'll find out a little bit more about me and who I am and whatever. And of course, also, if you want to go to the church's website, well, we have that for you too. We had all kinds of good stuff. It's usocc.org. There it is, folks. So it's simple as that. I appreciate that my friend sent me a couple boxes of these things. I'm still trying to find them. If folks, if you can tell me where I can get them, please tell me. I looked on Amazon. I can't find them. Every time I see them on Amazon, it's like they want to sell a box for $45. I'm not, you're out of your mind. For 6 cookies. This is basically all the sweets that I eat, and I love them. And I can't find them. They used to be at Walmart. They're not at Walmart. So I looked at Walmart. I can't find it. I looked on my app multiple times. I can't find them. So if you guys can find them, let me know. It's Fiber One. It's the oatmeal raisin cookies. I don't like the chocolate chip ones. I like the oatmeal raisin cookies. So anyway, if you guys can find it, please let me know. All right. Yeah, welcome everybody. I appreciate you being here, and thank you for, like I said, taking this Saturday. And yeah, I for some reason I'm in Kentucky, and is my church declaring bankruptcy? No, my church wouldn't be declaring bankruptcy because we don't receive funding. There's no bankruptcy because we fund it on our own. So no. But anyway, I'm in Kentucky, and it's very, very interesting because in Kentucky, for some strange reason, it's one of those things. But oh well, thank you there, Janelle. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. But it's the Fiber One. It's the Fiber One oatmeal raisin cookie, and what I like about them, it doesn't have a whole lot of sugar in it. So anyway. Okay. Let me let you guys know about Miss Wilma. Miss Wilma is why is the Catholic Church in Santa Clara filing? Because I'm not really for sure. I don't know. I'm in Kentucky, so I'm not really for sure, my friend. But I'm sure if you can Google that, there'll be information in there for you. Miss Wilma has double pneumonia. I have tried Target. Target didn't have them. And gosh, Wilma has been struggling, folks. She this year has been tough for Miss Wilma. For those of you who don't know Miss Wilma, I consider her family. I've known her for 25 years, and she has a pacemaker. She is in heart failure. She has multiple sclerosis. Yeah, she's very, very. I think the best word is innocent, and she lived a very sheltered life. She's never been married. She's always lived in the same house, which is fine, even from her childhood. But she has really been going through some tough times. She had COVID, and that really affected her in December. She got really sick, and she finally got over that in a way. And then she has double pneumonia. So it really breaks her heart because she loves coming on and she loves, telling her little jokes and making you guys laugh. So she hasn't been here she's missed, quite a few shows, but she's sick. So if you would just pray for Miss Wilma. She's struggling. She is. And it's one of those things. She's missed the Bible study and she's missed last week's and this week. So yeah, it's one of those things. When you have double pneumonia, what are you going to do? Especially when you're 68 years old with heart failure and a pacemaker and multiple sclerosis. So anyway, she comes on. She does her best with her jokes and her 1920 movies that she always talks about, that she thinks that they're brand new. So anyway, just keep her in your thoughts and prayers. She would appreciate that. She really would. Yeah. Oh, you're in rehab. Yeah. Miss Wilma was in rehab for 6 months. They kept her in rehab for 6 months. No, she's not in the hospital and she should have been. I don't know why. Here's why they didn't keep her. Now explain this to me, folks. This is a woman who has, she's in heart failure. She has a pacemaker. She has multiple sclerosis. She has double pneumonia. And she had a fever. She went to the ER and they didn't keep her. I just don't understand why would I don't understand. That would be a perfect person who needs to be in the ER. And I guess because her oxygen level was 96. So because they said her oxygen level was 96, she was breathing just fine. Okay. But with all the other complications that she's having, with double pneumonia, you would think that they would keep her, but they didn't. So yeah, you're right. It's all about the money. It's a shame. It really is a shame. But we have a lot to cover tonight, and we're just gonna have a good. This is a 96 oxygen level. So I mean, you have 100%, and hers was 96. But anyway, she should have been over. She should have been kept. She should have been kept overnight. So tonight, we're going to have it's open mic night as it always is. I'll talk to you if you have questions. I'll entertain your questions. We'll talk about demonology and the paranormal, supernatural, as we always do. I've been here for quite some time now. I have over 2,000 videos now on my TikTok channel. 2,000. That's insane. So I've done a lot of videos, a lot. And we've been here Friday. We're here Saturday. We talk about the paranormal stuff. And if you want if you want to go to the church's website, usocc.org, that's the church. The reason is I have to answer that question, and that's okay. You might just have joined, but people ask that question so much, and so literally I could do the show all night long repeating USOCC, because understand that TikTok, you're on this screen. But I also have the show running on this computer, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Spreaker, and then instant messages on Facebook. And then I have this computer over here on Clapper. So I have 3 different computers running these shows. So please understand that if I don't answer your question, I promise you it's not because I'm being rude. It's because, hey, we have a little bit of an issue going on. And the issue is I have the show running on multiple platforms. Okay. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to entertain them. I do ask that on TikTok, or anybody else, no matter what, no matter where you are, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Spreaker, or Clapper, folks, just be kind. I can't believe I have to say this all the time. Just be kind. Don't curse. Don't be rude to people. Don't spam. Just be kind. It's so sad that I have to say that. But you can just go to bishopjameslong.com and go there. I have not. I know I've not done anything else with the Foreman brothers. They asked me to do a couple videos, watch a couple of their investigations, and that's all I've done. And really, I can't right now because I'm under contract because I did the show with the Travel Channel and Eli Roth. So for those of you who don't know, again, I've made the announcement multiple times, and I'll be making it again. I am in a cast member in a show called Eli Roth Presents Legion of Exorcists, and that will air June the 1st. And I know it's on the Travel Channel. I think it's Discovery Plus, HBO Max. But anyway, that's going to be June the 1st. I think it's at 10 p.m. You might want to check your local listings. And it's a phenomenal show. It's the first one that's ever been done. And what happens is there is a group of exorcists, and we have all become friends now from different denominations. We've talked about our cases, and we explain what happened, and we get feedback. We just have a round table discussion. And then what they did is they recreated these cases. So we were told what happened. This is what it was. And then they recreate them. So I think this is going to be a very intense show. I'm looking forward to it. I really am, because there needs to be a lot of education in this field. I've been doing it now for over 20 years, trying to teach people about the dangers of paranormal investigating and demonology. And that's one of the big reasons why I signed on to this show, because I really do believe in it. And I think it's important. So make sure you check it out. Eli Roth. By the way, Eli Roth is a very, really cool guy. Very nice person. A really nice person. So that's going to be June 1st. And I think you're going to enjoy it. Oh, it is. The oatmeal raisin cookies have been discontinued. Well, now that is very depressing. I'm going to have to contact. I don't know why, because every time I went to Walmart, they were always out. I mean, it was a big seller. So I don't know. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah, I agree with you, Blue Moon. As far as I like the idea of the multiple clergy coming together and talking about our cases and denominations, the different denominations and our experiences. That's important. That's very important to do so. So anyway, please enjoy that June 1st, and I'll remind everybody again as we get closer and closer. But it's pretty intense. They have the trailer out, by the way. You can watch it online. Just type in Eli Roth Presents Legion of Exorcists, and there we go. Have you guys heard of this? I talked about this before, and I cannot believe. Well, yes, I can. This is absurd. This is absurd. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but now, folks, of all things, there is now a Jesus Christ themed Ouija board on Amazon. That you heard me right. There is a Ouija board now, and it communicates directly with Jesus Christ, it says. They're calling this the Holy Spirit board. You know what? So listen to this. And again, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to tell you this is by David Peskovitz. So it says for just $30 on Amazon, you can now purchase the Holy Spirit board, a Ouija board that will enable you to, quote, communicate directly with Jesus Christ. So according to the product's description, it's, quote, perfect for churches. The hell? What do you mean perfect for churches, prayer groups, or just getting together with friends? But beware. Father Ernesto Caro, an exorcist of the Diocese of Monterrey in Mexico, says that the talking board is not a game, but rather a trap from the devil. So the person says, cool, I can't wait for mine to arrive. So anyway, below, Caro talks about this evil idol on the Catholic Television Network program, EWTN. And he says the game's description says, get the answers you need. The Holy Spirit board can answer all of life's most important questions straight from the man himself, and assures potential buyers that unlike other spirit boards, this one will never contact evil ghosts or demons. So you can ask your questions with an assured sense of safety, it says. So despite the Christian imagery, Carl says that the so-called Holy Spirit board is just a Ouija board, repackaged to trick Christians into using it. Amen. He says, as an exorcist, Carl warns Christians not to be fooled, and that using the board would be opening a door that could be dangerous for you. So based on the board's advertising, quote, you would probably think that it is God that you're talking with. And Carl said, it is not. If the Ouija board triangle is moving by itself, be careful. It's not God who is moving it. It is the devil, Carl said. Here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. People are going to say, oh, Bishop Long, you're being too dramatic. Nothing is going to happen with this, and I'm going to play with it, and blah, 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 blah. And then here's what's even worse. The planchette that they have, the little planchette that you're supposed to move, and it's supposed to tell you, the answers if you have a question. Well, the planchette is a cross. It's a cross, everybody. So that's what they've done now. I don't know if you've seen this. This is an abomination. This is disgusting to me. To me, it's kind of like you get to a point where you just kind of, you get sick and tired of this nonsense. Because what's going to happen is people are going to play with this stupid thing, and then they're going to have issues, and then they're going to call somebody like myself. Oh, we need you to help. We need you to fix this problem. And no, I will not. You shouldn't have done it in the first place. But see, people think that you're going to do this and then that someone's going to come fix your problem. No. So here it is. That's what it looks like. So that's what it looks like for everybody. And then, of course, the little planchette there, instead of that like a triangle thing, that's what you use. That's what you put on your hands on the cross. There you go, folks, right there. That's what this is just, it's such an abomination. I get so tired of this nonsense, this stupidity. And then people do this, and then they have issues coming in their home. And then they say, well, and I know what's going to happen. Well, we use the Holy Cross board or the Jesus Christ board. We didn't think it was going to be bad, because it's like, really, seriously. But that's what they're doing now. So here's what's, I mark my words. I'm telling you, mark my words. There's going to be a time. I have no idea when. I'm not a psychic, but I guarantee you someone's going to be calling me and telling me, Bishop Long, I bought that Holy Spirit board. We brought it home. We thought we were talking to whatever Jesus, and now activity is occurring in our home. What do we do with this board? And they're going to want to send it to me. And I guarantee you, I will have someone will send me this stupid board. I promise you, mark my word, it will happen. It will happen. I don't understand this. You don't need a stupid board to get the answers you need from Christ. It's called prayer. That's what you need to do. Not use this ridiculous, idiotic, stupid Holy Spirit board. That is nothing but divination. That is absolutely nothing but it's going to leave you down the wrong path. And I guarantee you, you're not going to be communicating with Christ. So I'm giving everyone heads up. If you play with this idiotic thing, then don't be surprised when you hear the flap of the demon's wings. That's, just, and the thing is that people sometimes think that, the exorcist, we can just, snap our fingers and fix it. It doesn't work that way, guys. Sometimes it takes a long time. Someone asked me today a question on TikTok, And they ask me, why aren't there videos or evidence to show that possession exists? And I understand the question. I do. I get it. I understand because people ask this all the time. And there is. I have played sound bites from an exorcism that I performed on the on this very show. I actually had the daughter of a 68-year-old woman who was being demonically attacked come on the show and tell you the case that I worked. I there are those a few bits of information out there, but the reason is there are no video. There shouldn't be videos. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people playing exorcist and doing this hocus pocus and all this other nonsense and charging people $5,000, $10,000 for this stuff, and then putting it all over social media so they can promote themselves to make big bucks. Well, the problem with that is, number one, it's an abomination, and number two, it is absolutely disturbing and disgusting that anybody would film an exorcism, call themselves an exorcist, and then put them all over social media. That's wrong. That's just evil. I'm sorry. That's a wolf in sheep's clothing. How would you like if a clergy member did that to your family member? How would you like that? How would you like that? God forbid, if you had a child that was 15, 16, 17, or even 20 years old, or and was possessed, and a person who claimed to be an exorcist comes over to the house, and let's say that your child or your family member truly, legitimately was possessed. Now, there are things that occur during an exorcism that it's truly appalling what the demonic will do to the body. It is appalling. It's vulgar. So now an exorcist comes to your home, they perform the exorcism, and they record it, and then they put it all over social media so they can get likes, so they can get followers, so they can make a buck off of your family members. Thank you very much, Corey. So they can make $1 from your loved one's misery. That folks, that's not Christianity. That's an abomination. I wouldn't want anybody doing that to my family. You know, I'm not married. I don't have children, but I'm just thinking, my gosh, if any of my family members, I would hate for any clergy to go to my family member. God forbid, if I wasn't an exorcist and one of my family members was possessed, and an exorcist shows up and then puts it all over social media, that would be disgusting. Sure, I have no issues with baptizing people. The problem is I don't know. I'm in Kentucky, so that's my issue. So they found another verse in the Bible. Well, no, you were talking about they found there's so allegedly there was some artifacts that they found, but it hasn't been released yet. But it's just disturbing. I just don't like it, because think about that. It is if you, God forbid, if you were possessed and then clergy came over and you were legitimately possessed and you said things and did things that were not in your control, and it was rather embarrassing. And so I've had an exorcism where obviously this is very vulgar. The demonic is incredibly vulgar and says some things that are that just are, well, you get the point. Very X-rated. And then you put that all over social media. And then when a person is delivered from that demonic episode, then they go through social media and then they see themselves all over social media platforms. Now, do you really think that is appropriate? I don't. So I would never do that to anybody. I just never will. Never will. Now, I do record the exorcisms, and we do that for legal reasons, because if the person expires, we have to have something. It's serious. It's quite serious. We have to show that we have followed all the legalities, didn't break rules, didn't break laws. That's important. But no, you don't do it to make a buck. So I've never charged, never will, and I've done it for over 20 years. Supernova, do you believe that the end times has begun? So much evil and craziness. You have to understand the moment that Christ was crucified, died, and resurrected, the end times, the clock began. So you need to remember that. And if it happens today, okay. But you also need to realize I've been teaching Revelation since January the 8th on the social on our Bible study, and I've been promoting it everywhere. So some of you may not know it, but since January the 8th, I've been teaching Revelation verse by verse and breaking down all the symbols and what they mean. And if you missed it, you can go to my Facebook page. It's there. You can go to my YouTube page. It's there as well. And you can watch it. And so I explain everything to you, everything. I don't worry about the end times, and neither should you, because there's a lot of people. If your faith in Christ is strong, then be at peace. Be at peace. But look, there's so many people who are spreading hope that now there's allegedly, I think, this month. Someone said this month where the second coming was supposed to happen. Well, here we are. The people have been saying this. People have been saying this since Paul's time. So I just tell people, just relax with all this. Just relax. It's just too much. It causes anxiety. It causes panic on people. Yeah, we can't control it. It'll happen when it happens, and it's not something to be afraid of. So it's not something to be afraid of at all. Yeah, the Lilith thing, the Lilith story is a lot of people are talking about Lilith, and a lot of, again, when you see these things, it's just tried to discredit Christianity. It's the Adam and Eve story. And like I said, maybe one day I'll do a top discussion on that during Bible study, because that's a lot of information. That's not something you can just do in 5 seconds. So that's no, I'm not a fan of that whole story. And people have done just like with the offsprings of demons and angels, and demons and women and the Nephilim and all this other stuff. It's like, oh, come on. It seems to be so much, and it's almost to the point where it's silliness. People are doing everything they can to discredit Christianity. Here's okay. The Jewish folklore, I'll just say this. Jewish folklore says Lilith was Adam's first wife. She's not mentioned in the Torah. Over the centuries, she has become associated with Adam in order to reconcile the contradict versions of creation in the book of Genesis. That's what it's all about. It's trying to contradict it. But I'll do a presentation one time on it. But again, that's just another thing that people are trying to do to discredit the Bible. So I'll do a presentation on that one day. Okay. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, folks, that was supposed to have already happened. So, and Michael Caine said that you hear about 2 months and all major banks will have to switch to digital currency, mark of the beast. Actually, people were saying that at the end of March, in the beginning, it was all over social media. I even saved the videos. They were saying, oh, at the end of March, the beginning of April, there's going to be a big, huge change. The U.S. currency is going to plummet. All the banks are going to go bankrupt. They're going to force you to do this digital currency, crypto. Folks, I've said this. I said this many, many times. Many times. As a matter of fact, I said it here on this show. It is a scam. The whole point, and I even shared a video from a stockbroker who that's what he does. That's what he does this for a living. Everybody who spreads that nonsense they're selling cryptocurrency. So the whole point of trying to scare the hell out of you so that they can increase, which by the way, it worked, increase their crypto, and they sold. And then people who bought into this, oh my gosh, the value of the dollar is going to crush it, BRICS is going to come, and all this other. They've been saying that, folks, they said it, they guarantee it. There are people who guaranteed, I'll guarantee, and they had millions of views. the end of March, the beginning of April, the bank system is going to collapse in the United States. That's what they said. That is what I have these videos saved. And here we are. Isn't that interesting? It's a big, fat con game. That's what it is. And that's what I told you several months ago when all this nonsense started. And nobody talked about it. Nobody talked about it. Everybody was so terrified about this cryptocurrency. And I just did a little bit of research and nope, that's not how this works, guys. They sold cryptocurrency. All the people who put all these videos together scared the hell out of everybody. And and all I did is did some research on these people who made all these videos with millions of views, and they sell crypto. It's a scam. That's it. It's a scam. So, and I've also said this, which no one else was saying on social media, that I did research about how much China owes in America, how much they actually own in American debt. Folks, I remember I did the research. They own $1 trillion. And nobody was saying this on social media. They own $1 trillion in American debt. $1 trillion. Now, it makes no sense for them to try to purposely crush the United States, the economy, because then if they do that, they would never receive their $1 trillion that they are owed. Come on, folks. Come on. Come on. The whole point of BRICS is this. This is the whole point. The dollar, the American dollar is powerful. And the reason that BRICS is being utilized or trying to be created, which, by the way, will never succeed because the countries that are actually trying to create this BRICS system can't get along with each other anyway. But the whole reason for it is because of sanctions. I don't know why people are not talking about this. The United States places sanctions on Iran. The United States places sanctions on China. The United States places sanctions on Russia. And it hurts their economy greatly. So now they come up with this scheme of BRICS, which, by the way, again, no one has said this either. BRICS is not brand new, folks. This was mentioned in 1987. Come on, folks. You just got to do a little bit of research. Just do a little bit of research. So all this stuff that you're seeing, they're just trying to scare you. That's it. It is. It's all a sham. And it's a con game. That's it. It's a con game. So family favorite. Actually, today is open mic night. And actually, I don't ever see you, family favorite. I've been teaching Bible study now for the past several years here, actually since 2003. So I would appreciate maybe show up. We're here every Sundays and Wednesdays, and I don't recognize your name, but I would love to have you show up on our Bible study at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays and Wednesdays. That would be great. So tonight is open mic night. Sundays and Wednesdays is devoted to our Bible study. Okay, all righty there. So you enjoy Bible study? That's great. Yeah, I love the Bible study. It's a lot of fun. Okay, sign me up. Yeah, seriously. I would love to have you guys there. If you've never been, if you're brand new here, so what should you do with your money? Well, look, here's the deal. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I have a master's of business, but I'm not a financial advisor. So I would definitely speak to a financial advisor from a reputable firm and speak to them. Okay, but don't buy into all this nonsense. It's just craziness. Okay. So anyway, yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. So that's what I'm talking about. I don't really talk a whole lot of, this is not so much politics. This is just people need to be aware of this. Oh, by the way, you also need to be aware of this. This is not politics, but this is what's going on now, folks. Listen to this. This is very, very important. There is a big scam going on now with artificial intelligence. So you may have heard, you may have not have heard about this, but here's what's happening. If you have ever been online, either video or your audio, or if anyone has ever recorded your voice like they could do it with mine. What these scammers are doing now they are recording, they're taking your voice, they are putting it into artificial intelligence program. And this program then contacts your family member and tells them that you were in a terrible car accident. And it sounds just like you. It sounds just like you. And so you tell the family member, okay, I got to have money. I just crashed my car. I'm in trouble. Please send it to this bank. And they cannot tell the difference. So that is what's going on now. So you need to be aware of this. That was on the world news. It's been on the world news several times. Just make sure so here's what you do. So the question is what should you do about this? Well, if any of your family members, I need to talk to my family about this too, because someone could do this to them. You create some type of password. So whatever password it is, and then only you know it. And so you ask, if it sounds like your loved one on the phone, then you say, what's the password? Well, they won't know it. And that's the best way to do that. But it's terrible. It is terrible. And as a matter of fact, I listened to let me see if I can find it. I was trying to find it the other day. I couldn't locate it. Hold on, let me just put this down. But there was, okay. No, I don't want this to warn us. I think this is it. Make it look like anyone is saying it. Okay, let me turn this on, see if this works. Okay, hold on one second. Let me turn this off.
Anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, I don't know, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or how about this? Simply, President Trump is a total and complete.
Now, keep in mind.
See, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele.
That, my friends, is artificial intelligence. That was not Obama. So they basically put the script in. They take Obama's voice, and then Obama, or anybody. I mean, it could be your voice. It could be anybody. Then that's what they do. And I'm telling you, it is. Yeah, that is scary, because they can make a video now to where it looks almost identical, like it actually is the person. Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. They can make the person actually, it looks legitimate. So that is scary. I mean, they could create not that I think people would waste their time, but they could create like an exorcist, or even me, a video of me, and then put my voice, and then go on TikTok and say, demons do not exist. It's all of your imagination. They could do that. And you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. That's right. You have to have a safe word. You need to have a safe word, especially if any of your family members are have anything online. They need to do that. So that's important. Now, get this, guys. I don't know about you, but listen to this. This is from a study finds. It's a research organization. A fountain of youth pill is on the horizon after scientists slow aging in yeast. So listen, this is in San Diego. A potential fountain of youth pill may be on the horizon after scientists successfully slowed aging in yeast cells. So researchers in California increased the longevity of a single-celled organisms by utilizing biosynthetic clock to rewire the circuit controlling normal deterioration. This offers hopes for preventing age-related human illnesses. Quote, our results establish a connection between gene network architecture and cellular longevity that could lead to rationally designed gene circuits to slow aging, explains Professor Nan Ho, the study seniors author from UC San Diego. Humans possess gene regulatory circuits responsible for aging. Well, similar to those found in fungi. The team used microfluidics and time-lapse microscopic to track the aging processes across the yeast lifespan. Cells exposed to the oscillator device survived almost twice as long as the normal controls. This, I don't know about this. I understand people wanting to live longer. I get that. I can understand that. Okay. But man, when we start playing with a fountain of youth pill, I don't know that something doesn't. Well, do I see anything wrong with it? The problem that I see with it is when we start playing with microbiology, when you start playing with your DNA, then the long-term effects we just simply don't know. And I don't know. I understand people wanting to live longer, okay, but I just don't know if we can do this in a pill. To me, I think that's a little spooky. But some of you may be absolutely thinking that it's great. But I don't know. I'm just kind of when I read that, I thought I just here's the deal. I'm ready to go. When God calls me home, I'm ready to go. I'm like, okay, come on, let's head on out. But what are you going to do? Now people ask me all the time, if I believe that in aliens or UFOs. I do. And I know people are going to say, oh, no, look, here's the deal. There are far too many people who are credible. There are pilots who have flown at 747. These are professional pilots. They're in the air all the time, more than you and me. They are experts. Obviously, they're pilots. And there have been pilots who have said that they have seen metallic objects that have flown very quickly, up, down, left, right, that are not man-made objects. Because the way they fly, it's just not impossible. These are not balloons. I think that a pilot would know the difference between a metal object and a balloon. I'm just saying. But if you're on a 747 and you're flying at 45,000, 45,000 feet above the ground, you're flying at a pretty good speed. Well, there have been captains who have said that they have seen metallic objects flying right next to them and are able to maneuver that simply we don't have the ability to do so. Something is going on there. There's too much going on. I personally think that even the United States government is starting to release these little kind of drip kind of a thing. They're trying to throw a little bit of information here, a little bit of information there. Something is happening. I'm just curious. I'm curious. What do you guys think about that? Do you believe in UFOs we know exist. That's unidentified flying objects. But do you believe in alien life? I'm very curious. I'm telling you, Antarctica. That's a good question. Sono, there's something going on in Antarctica. I do believe that. Yes, Bill. Bill Payne is asking. Matter of fact, I saw it, Bill, and thank you very much for Jax. So here's a question. Bill Payne in Facebook says, didn't two officers chase one in Louisville several years ago in a helicopter? Yes. And this was multiple, I think it was 15 years ago. I was doing online radio at this time. And my friend of mine said, James, you need to get outside. You need to look. There is something outside. And they thought it was a UFO. I looked outside. I saw it. I saw the police helicopter chasing after this thing. It was clearly metallic. It was spitting out like red shoots of laser. I mean, it was just kind of like laser, I don't know, circles. It was weird. It was red everywhere. And I thought, oh, this is a UFO. This darn thing is a UFO. So we went on the show. We were talking about what we all saw. We all saw this. And lo and behold, a couple months later, they had this on a television show where they interviewed the Louisville Metro Police Department, the helicopter, the pilots were chasing after this thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. This is actually what we saw. So I think there's something going on there. I do. I absolutely believe. See, here's the deal. I don't know. I mean, man, Seamus is asking, do you think if there are extraterrestrial beings, they'll make contact? I do think so. But then you have the big $1 million question is if these are extraterrestrial beings and they're able to get here, they're far more advanced technologically than we are. And that's a little scary. Well, I understand. I understand your opinion as far as aliens or demons. I would disagree with that. But that's just my perspective. I don't think they are necessarily aliens or demons. But I there's something going on. There is something going on. Yeah. There's a lot of people who think that aliens are demons. I don't find that from a theological perspective. I don't buy that, and that really goes back to the Book of Enoch and the argument there. I do believe in angels, no doubt, absolutely, because I believe in demons. Yeah. So anyway, listen to this. For those of you who don't know, have you watched the series the Chosen? I love the Chosen. Yeah, the Chosen is a great series. Really is. Great series. Don't come in here making molestation comments. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's vulgar. Why would you do? Why would anybody do that? Why would you do that? That's what I don't. Why would anybody do that? Why would someone come in and make a comment like that? I don't know. It's so cruel. It's why? That's the thing. Why would you do that? No. It's sad. It really is. It's very, very sad. Yeah, isn't that disgusting? Someone coming in making molestation. I mean, why? That's just disgusting. It really is disgusting. Anyway, yep, I was on Ghost Adventures. But listen to this. So this is by Becky Fiera. Scientists have recorded ocean sounds picked up a mysterious buzz that they cannot identify. So scientists have recorded the bustling sounds of underwater life in coral reefs off the coast of India as part of a new study that revealed insights into marine biodiversity and detected a strange buzz. It's a call from a mysterious unidentified animal. The research is part of a broader effort among marine biologists to use underwater and sound recorders known as hydrophones to capture the soundscapes of aquatic life and wildlife around the world. Hydrophones can passively and non-invasively record underwater acoustics for days at a time, enabling scientists to eavesdrop on marine life to learn about the behavior, movements, and the response to environmental changes. To better understand the rich reef ecosystems of India, a team of researchers at the Indian Council of Scientific and Industrial Research National Institute of Oceanography placed a hydrophone near the Grand Island at a depth of about 65 feet. And over the course of several days, the instrument captured hundreds of recordings of the choruses of sound-making fish, the high-frequency noises of shrimp, and the rumblings of boat passing near the area. No big deal. But the results unveiled fascinating details. So 76% said yes, they do believe in aliens. Okay. So anyway, there is apparently some sound, a buzzing sound, that they are not able to determine what it is. And it's not boats. It's not any type of device, man-made device. It's certainly not from an animal. So they can't explain it. There have also been, we do know, and matter of fact, finally they just released it in some of the reports, that there have been UFOs or that have actually gone into the water, that have flown literally they're flying underwater. And what's pretty, it's amazing if you think about it, because there's so much pressure in the water that how you can fly so quickly, there's something going on. I don't know. Some people say they don't believe in it, and that's fine. But I don't know. I think there's something going on there. And some people disagree, and some people don't. But I think something is happening. Yeah. So you've heard about that as well? So there's something going on there. I don't know, what it is. You're not going to see let me tell you something. Why would you want to see a video of an exorcism? Why? An exorcist who understands that this is not done for entertainment value, they're not going to post videos of someone going through extreme trauma for entertainment value. You're not going to find it. What you're going to find are people who are holding up a cross and doing their entertainment and all this other stuff. You're not going to find an exorcist that's going to post a video of a legitimate possession on social media so you can watch it. Let me tell you something. During an exorcism that I performed 30 exorcisms, the demonic was so vulgar. Not only was it physically, it was verbally vulgar, it was also physically vulgar, to where it forced the body to use the restroom on itself and then consume the waste. Now, if that was your family member, would you want some exorcist posting videos like that of your family member consuming their human waste? And then people want to know why I don't post videos. I've had someone take their fingernail and rip their fingernail off. Completely rip it off. And people want to see that. I don't know. If you want to study it, well, then if you want to study exorcism, you can study it without watching people going through suffering. Watching someone go through suffering is not something you'd want to. Why would you want to watch someone go through suffering? I don't understand. Because please understand that an exorcism can be violent. It's not just someone screaming, hooping, and hollering. I don't even want to see an animal get hurt, let alone a human or anything. I want to see a human. I don't want to see anybody getting hurt. I wouldn't want to watch that. This is not something I don't know. I have no more words. I have nothing. What else? How am I supposed to respond to that? I don't understand. I don't get it. Are people that obsessed with watching people go through hell? I mean, seriously, honest to God, are people that obsessed with watching people go through torment? People are curious. They're curious to watch a person consume their human waste. They're curious to watch a person scream in pain and agony while the demon is being exorcised. They're curious why a person breaks their arm, and curious to why a person is scratching themselves and ripping off their fingernails. What the hell are we? What have we lost our ever-loving mind? And I agree with you, Crystal. I agree. People are curious. I agree with you. I don't understand this. I don't understand the fascination with watching someone go through hell. I don't get it. We want proof. I'm not here to prove that demons exist. I'm not here to prove that demons exist to you at all. I'm here to help the families who know they do. I don't have to prove anything to you because Jesus Christ already said that they do exist. So that's all the proof that I need. And let me just say this to you. And I understand you say you want proof. Here's the deal. I know for a fact that if people who say we want proof, if they actually sat and watched the person levitate or the contortion of the body or the horrible, they still would say, well, we want more proof. It'll never be enough. It'll never be enough. It won't. So I'm not here to prove that demons exist to you. I don't, like I said, I don't charge. I've never have charged, never will charge. And I'm going to tell you something. I've said this before. I have a doctorate in ministry and 3 master's degrees. Guys, if possession did not exist, I promise you I would do something else with my time. Now, you can't say, well, you're doing this for fame. Nope, because I don't make money off of it. I spend my own money to get to people's homes. I don't charge. So there is no ulterior motive for me. None. So people can't say, well, you're just doing this to make a buck. How can that? I don't charge. I pay for it out of my own pocket. So you can't use that. Yeah, I just I don't know. I wouldn't want to see anybody's family go through torment. What the hell? Seriously, what the hell is wrong with society? I would not want to see that's a family member. That's someone's family. That's someone's brother or sister or mom or dad or child, uncle or aunt. It's not a prop. It's a human being who's gone through severe trauma. I don't know. Whatever. So the people will ask you endless questions about horrible. Again, I have no problem teaching people about it because I've been doing it now for over 2 decades and I've been doing it for free. I have no problem teaching people about demonology. But it gets to a point where people have now just removed God from the equation. They have removed the sacred rites from the equation, and they just want to be entertained for the night. And the society is crossing ethical boundaries that are just appalling, truly appalling. And if you want to see an exorcism, then go watch a movie. It's a movie. I don't know why someone would want to watch someone going through torment. I don't get that. Yeah. So if you, whatever. Okay. So, well, absolutely. Jesus loves you right back, my friend. Appreciate you being here. Well, yeah. Okay. See, Catholic priests and ethics. Ha, ha, ha. So that implies all Catholic priests then rape children. Is that what you're saying? Man, the people are just cruel. God. People are just cruel. You know, I don't know how people can wake up. I don't know how people can wake up and be cruel to others. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. How people can lay their head down at night knowing they've said some really nasty things to people. So, yep, animals have been possessed. Actually, we see that in Scripture. So, but what are you going to do? Okay, listen to this, everybody. This is look, folks. Again, I've been doing this for over 20 years. Please understand, I have a very thick skin, so I've been called everything but my name. The trolls don't get to me. What gets to me is that people have gotten to a point now where they are so cruel that they just don't care. They just don't care. So, it's one of those things. Okay. All your dogs have been possessed. Well, some animals certainly act like it. My sister's cat. She'll tell you all about it. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. She'll tell you all about that. My sister's cat, Lilith, apparently that cat. No, they have not come to the church. Actually, 15 years ago, I was getting death threats, and we had to hire a police officer in plain clothes to come to the church because the death threats were getting so severe. And so we had to hire that, which was stupid. But again, that's just, what are you going to do? A lot of people ask me about near-death experience. Well, this is by TK Randall, and I wanted to share this. I wanted to share this with you guys. Thank you for the gifts on TikTok. I apologize if I've not said thank you because I'm watching several different screens. So I thank you for. Oh yeah, yeah. The death threats were serious. 15 years ago, I went to a paranormal conference in Indianapolis, and they had to hire 4 police officers. 4 police officers. Where I'm at my table. I wasn't selling anything. I'm there to talk to people about their spiritual issues and bless the items that they have. If they want to be blessed, I bless them. That's it. That was it. And I talk about demonology. But it was so vicious, 15 years vicious, that the death threats were pretty credible. So yeah, they had to hire 4 police officers. It was in Indianapolis. Wow, unbelievable. But again, that they think they intimidate me, and I'm like, you don't intimidate me. Sorry. Okay. So I have a pretty thick skin. You have to understand. Listen to this. A near-death experience would seem to be a life-changing event, but it turns out for some people, according to this person, TK Randall, which I disagree, it turns out that it's not generally the case. I disagree with that. I think if you've had an actual near-death experience, it is a life-changing event. So I disagree with this, with that statement there. Seeing events flashing before your eyes, observing a bright light at the end of a tunnel, or feeling as though you are floating above your own body are just some of the things commonly described by patients who have had a near-death experience. But do such experiences represent genuine evidence that there is something more after we die, or are there simply illusions produced by the chemistry of the dying brain in our final moments? Nope. There actually is documented evidence that there is no brain activity in patients who have clinically died and who have come back to life. So anyways, while we may never know the answers to the question, well, actually we do, one thing we do know is how such experiences have impacted the lives of those who've gone through them. I agree with that. Now, according to a new study, however, NDEs, near-death experiences, do not always have the impact that you might expect. Okay, researchers monitored 19 people following a near-death experience and then followed up with each of them a year later to see how their lives have changed. While the patients reported life-changing thoughts and symptoms relatively soon after the event, for a further 12 months later, the NDE seemed to have little long-term impact. Not on me. This was surprising considering that NDEs are typically reported as transforming and may be associated with negative emotions. Some. As things stand, however, a lot more research will need to be done to confirm the findings. Well, I disagree with this article completely. As a matter of fact, I encourage you to go to the website nderf.org. I'll put it in the chat room on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. ND as in dog, erf.org. That's the name of a website. I've had him on the show before. His name is Dr. Jeffrey Long, where and he's a medical doctor, and he's a world-leading expert on near-death experiences. And he's actually explains how, in fact, there is 100% proof that near-death experiences are not just brain activity or illusions. And they're not, because there have been people who have been clinically dead, who have traveled, who have moved to another room or to another floor of a building, was able to tell what happened, what was going on, and then they came back to the body. That is not an illusion. So you can't say that. As a matter of fact, there's one case where an individual died, and the person's soul, if you will, they turned around and they saw their body on the operating table. They moved up, and the really bright light that shines on the body during an operation, there's a serial number on top of those really bright lights. That person was able to raise far above it, where they purposely memorized. It was just a 4-letter, very simple letters, and they memorized it. And they came to, and they said, I left my body, and by the way, these are the letters on top of that machine. And they were able to say, so that you cannot tell me, you cannot ever tell me that that is just an illusion. It's not an illusion. How can you do it? If the person is coming in an operating room and they're able to tell you the 4 letters that are on top of this machine, where it's not visible if you're lying down, you have to be above it. You can't dismiss that. You cannot dismiss it. So I had a near-death experience. My sister has had a near-death. There's no doubt in my mind, none, that near-death experiences exist. So as a matter of fact, I talked to a family they were, I think I told you about this, where their loved one had passed away and they did not have a will. So they were arguing whether or not I think they were downstairs or somewhere. They were arguing about what they're going to do with the body, because some family members wanted to have them cremated and others wanted to have them buried. And it was a bad fight. I mean, they were really, really fighting. Well, about 20 minutes later, the doctor comes rushing in and tells the family, you need to come back. Your loved one's here. So they came back to life. There was no brain activity. There was nothing. It was completely flatlined, no brain activity. And the loved one who died was able to tell the family members what they were arguing about. And they sat there and lectured them and was really angry about how the families were fighting about whether or not they're going to cremate their loved one or bury them. Now, you can't dismiss that and tell me that that is by chance. No, it's not. No, it's not. Am I going to have a meet and greet anytime soon? Yeah, the Roman Catholic Church does allow cremation. However, what the Roman Catholic Church says is that the ashes must remain intact. So in other words, either in an urn, they cannot be spread out. You cannot spread some ashes in the ocean, some ashes in the woods. You can't do that. And that's the Roman Catholic teaching. But the Roman Catholic Church does teach that you can be cremated. You just have to make sure that all the ashes remain. So you'd love to meet me in my... Well, we're talking on, there's something that's, there's something that's behind the scenes we're working on, some friends of mine, and we're working on the possibility of, well, I can't go into it because it's right now it's in a pre-planning stage. So if it happens, I'll start letting you guys know about it, but that it might happen to where a meet and greet is possible. So if I know more, I'll tell you. Okay. Okay. Do you travel? No, I've never been to Canada, but I certainly know that it's beautiful. I would love to go there. Love to go. But I've never been to Canada. Bishop without Shannon. Yeah. I don't know much about I can't, I wish I could tell you more, guys. I wish I could tell you, but I can't, because it's in the pre-planning stages of this. So we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of things. So, why do you mean ashes need to? I don't understand. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, I love Waverly. I've been to Waverly many times, many times. Waverly is one of my favorite places to go to. I absolutely love Waverly Hills. As a matter of fact, I would like to. I'm going to talk to the folks there at Waverly, and maybe on a Friday I could do another live show. So, no, Bill, the 7 years note is not the age of reason. It would be 12. Good question, though. They're going July the 12th. Oh, they're going July 12th. Who's going July 12th? To Waverly? The 11th, 13th. Okay. July the 11th. Okay. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how things go. Are you guys going to do the overnight, or are you guys going to just be there for the I think it's a 2-hour investigation? They have I think there's a 2-hour investigation. Then they have an overnight. And which one? The overnight? Is that what you're going to do? The overnight's pretty cool. But I know the board members overnight. Yeah, I know the board members there. So it's quite possible. Do you guys, other side paranormal, are you guys, how many people are going to be investigating? How old am I? I'm in my 50s. So how many folks are going to be investigating with you guys? Because it's possible that I could do a live show then, up to 10. Well, it's possible that I could maybe do a live show at Waverly Hills and have you guys investigate and see. Yeah, no, we'll have to. I'll talk to the folks there. I know the some board members there, so I'll talk to them. But just reach out to me on Facebook. The Facebook, and then send me a message, and then maybe we can work something out. Yeah, and then, again, the Roman Catholic Church, I don't know your faith, but someone is asking about the ashes. The Roman Catholic Church teaches that if you, and again, this is only if you're Roman Catholic, but they teach that if you're going to have someone cremated, you cannot dispense the ashes in the ocean, that they must remain in an urn and either entombed, but they cannot be separated or placed in the ocean. Now, that is the Roman Church. Again, I don't know your faith, so I'm just letting you guys know what that is. Okay. Yeah, we'll see how that happens. We may be able to pull it off, but of course, I'll have to talk to the folks there at Waverly and make sure I get on their internet and go from there. Well, we believe that if someone wants to cremate a loved one, that I don't see an issue with someone, if they love the ocean, if they love the woods. I don't see an issue there. Well, because again, the Roman Church teaches that they must be placed in an urn and the ashes must not be separated. So, oh, you're welcome. How does asking God, manifesting, trusting God's path all work? Feels like asking is a lack of faith. No. Jesus told you ask. Jesus told us to do this. And so asking God for what you need and what that whether it be patience or help, but you got to remember, remember this. If you need patience, let's say you wanting to ask, you're asking God to give you patience. God's not going to zap you with patience. Not how it works. But God will give you the opportunity to be patient. If you have trouble loving people, and if you want to love others, and you want to learn, God's not going to just zap you with love, but God's going to give you the opportunity to love people. So you just have to learn that, and it takes work on your part as well. So, infestation, upstate New York. Oh, you did? My goodness. You witness a major demonic infestation upstate. It can be very violent, no question. Would I be interested in visiting New York? I love New York. I've been to upstate New York. Upstate New York's beautiful. But see, folks, please understand that look, I struggle getting to people's homes. Because like I said, you guys, I've never charged a penny, never will. And I have 7,550 emails from people asking me to help them. And that's on my email. That's in 2 days. And I have over now 14,000 messages on TikTok and 937 messages on Facebook Messenger. I try to do the best I can. So, and of course, now that the show's coming out, now it's going to be, even more. So the Book of Enoch has a lot. I've talked about that many times. You might be new here. The Book of Enoch has a lot of errors in it. And there's a reason why it's not scriptural. I mean, or in the Bible, because it places the blame of sin on demons. And the Nephilim were not offspring of demons and women. Okay. Yeah. Again, guys, if the sound, if my sound is not matching up to, all you got to do is refresh. Yeah, I've talked about the Book of Enoch a lot. As a matter of fact, I even did a presentation on it on one of the Bible studies. The Book of Enoch, just again, the sons of God were not demons. The sons of God were children of Seth. How many of you know? Probably say, okay, we've heard you say that a million times. They were the children of Seth. Seth was the third child of Adam and Eve. And Genesis chapter 6, verse 4 tells us that the Nephilim existed before and after the sons of God had relationships with women. So there you go. It tells you right there. The Key of Solomon is absurd. It's idiotic. It really is a grimoire. It's a myth. So the Key of ultimately Solomon, the theory, the belief is well, he had a lot of wives and a lot of concubines, and many of these wives had pagan gods. And so the argument or the belief is that Solomon had an insignia, a ring, that he can call upon and summon demons and force these demons then to build temples to these pagan gods. So it's absurd. It's ridiculous. And there's absolutely no credibility to it at all. So no credibility. Okay. As a matter of fact, it's dumb. No one should ever do that. Because the people have done that, and they went online and they try to find an insignia of one of these Key of Solomon to try to summon one of these demons to do their bidding, and a possession case started because of that. Certainly I believe in demons. Yeah, I'm an exorcist. Yeah. The Solomon thing is absurd. It really is. I think I did a presentation once on that as well. I pretty much done a presentation on pretty much on everything, because I was talking to my sister the other day. I was like, I pretty much talked on every topic you can possibly think of. But I've been doing this since 2003. So I've been doing my online radio show since 2003. But yeah, the whole Solomon, the ring, Key of Solomon, no, folks, it's just it's absurd. Anyway, we can go into maybe one day a whole spill about that again, but I don't know. Books were removed. Well, there were books that were not included in the Bible because there's a lot of error, like the Gospel of Thomas, for example. Many people know the Gospel of Thomas, and why wasn't the Gospel of Thomas included in the Bible? Well, because, as I said many times before, in the Gospel of Thomas, which I read, it says that when a little boy bumped into Jesus, he threatened to turn him into a frog. That's a bit of a problem. It's a little bit of an issue. And the Gospel of Judas is just way out there. I mean, it's a wacky beyond wacky. In the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, she says she is the blessed apostle, a disciple above all else. I mean, it just, kind of like, so, oh, well, you're very welcome, Crystal. You're very welcome. Listen to this, guys. A bipedal ape-like beast are welcome now in the forest of Clallam County. Officials in Washington have declared, I'm telling you, this is not a joke. Officials in Washington state, this is by T.K. Randall, while most authorities would be more likely to dismiss the existence of Bigfoot out of hand than to take the phenom in any way seriously, that's certainly not the case in Clallam County, concerned that the creature could face extinction if it's not protected. County commissioners have taken the unusual step of making the region a, quote, refuge zone. So the official proclamation reads, this is now a law, whereas legends, sightings, research, investigation, and recognition by various counties and various states support the notion that Sasquatch, aka Bigfoot, Yeti, and giant hairy ape exist. And whereas if Sasquatch exists, it is not flourishing, given the very unusual event of being sighted, and is likely an endangered species and subject to great harm and extinction if it continues to be unprotected, whereas Clallam County desires that its citizens recognize the need to protect Sasquatch if it exists. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Clallam County Commissioners, hereby request that all citizens of Clallam County recognize this county as a refuge for Sasquatch to prove both protection and security, and also supports the Forks Sasquatch Day, May 26th through May 28th, 2023. Sign this day, well, the 11th day of April, 2023. So there we go, folks. You have You have a commission here. I mean, that the county has signed this saying in this area, it is a no hunting zone. You are not allowed to hunt. You are not, they are considered endangered species in this area. That's interesting. That is very, very interesting. I think there's something going on there. I do. I do. I think there's something going on there. There's far too many people who've claimed to see this that are very credible people. There really are. There's far too many people. Well, happy anniversary to you. Yeah, it's interesting. But I think there's something going on. So we just don't know. We don't know if these things exist, but we do know that there are people that are very credible who are saying that these things exist. And I have met these people. I've met game wardens. There was a game warden in Alaska. I met him, and he's absolutely, you're not going to, and he knows, people say, well, this is ridiculous. This is stupid. They say there's no such thing. They're dumb. That folks, he's a game warden in Alaska. He's lived in Alaska all his life. He's lived in the woods all his life. If you're a game warden in Alaska and you don't know the difference between a moose, a bear, and Bigfoot, you probably shouldn't be a game warden in Alaska. I mean, these people live in the woods. That's what they do. They are experts in the field, and he has nothing to lose. I mean, he has nothing to gain from lying. He loses all. I mean, people think he's nuts, but anyway, he's absolutely convinced. You know, the Mothman, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if it was the Mothman that I saw at the Gates of Hell Cemetery. I don't know. But I do know that I saw some, not only three other people was with me. And we saw some creature in that tree, and it was massive. If it was Mothman, I guess it was. I don't know what that sucker was. But I know what we saw. And man, that was crazy. That was crazy. I'll never, ever, never forget that. The moment, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was. I don't know. For those of you who don't know, I think it was 2004, 2005, my team was told about an old abandoned cemetery that nobody knew existed in the paranormal community. Nobody. It's an old abandoned cemetery in Kentucky. And people asked us to go there because there was a lot of satanic rituals performed there and to bless it, and because they had family members that were buried. It's no longer being used. And I said, yes, of course. So we went there, and it was late. And I mean, the things that we captured was out. I mean, it was crazy. So we went on radio the next night, and I said, this is like the gates of hell. And that's how it got its name in the state of Kentucky. That's how the cemetery got its name, because no one even was ever, it's never been investigated before. We were the very first ones. And one night when we were there, I don't know, I'm telling you, I don't know what this sucker was. Bishop David Price was with me. We had two other people that was with us. We went in it's an old cemetery, and it's like a horseshoe fence around it and trees all around. And one path is a dirt path going in, same path going out. It's only one path. And in the very back, it's this tree that a lot of people do satanic rituals there. But it was late. It was around midnight that we were there. And it was in the middle of summer. And the wind started blowing really, really heavy on the trees, on the top of the trees. But we couldn't feel anything. And the crickets stopped. This was in the middle of summer. And everything stopped. We heard nothing. We only heard the wind going back. And then we saw shadow people, hundreds and hundreds of shadow people, like they were darting in and out behind the trees. And it looks like they kept coming in closer and closer, like they were trying to block us off. And, we weren't there. We weren't prepared to do the minor rite of exorcism. We were there to investigate. And we said, it's time to go. So we left. We went out to the entrance, and right there is a big tree. And in that big tree, our backs were turned to the entrance, and somebody, I forgot who was there. They had a flashlight, and they were shining it on this tree, and they were shaking because we heard the rattle of the batteries, and I mean, it was shaking. And we looked, and he was pale, white as ghost. I mean, pale. And he was looking straight. We all turned around, and we saw this. It was, to me, it was like 10 feet tall. It was right on this tree. And it was huge. The wings were spread out. It looked like a bat. It looked like the torso of a man, but obviously it was hairy. It looked like a bat. It was so clear we could see the claws on the feet, and it looked right down at us. The eyes were a very bright fluorescent red and made no noise. But we knew that if we walked one step further, we were going to get hurt. We knew that. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And needless to say, we took off. I mean, because I don't know what that was. So some people say it was Mothman. I don't know. But it was something. And so we just named it the Gatekeeper. It's the demon. I've performed 30 exorcisms. I've been in many places that have had demonic infestation. This was a different feel. And that's what drives me crazy, because I can't define it. This was not the same feeling as with the presence of a demon. It wasn't. It was just a different feeling. So I don't know. Perhaps Mothman, Jersey Devil. I don't know, whatever term, but it was something. It was definitely something. We all saw it. We all saw it. So, you know what? Anyway, if you, I don't know what you guys might think. A cryptid? It could be. It could be. There are so many things that it could have been. I don't know what it was, but I do know that it was something, and I do know that we all saw it. Here's an article that I saw that I thought maybe you guys would really enjoy, because a lot of people ask me, how do we know if the house is haunted? Well, this was actually published, Asianet News Able. And I want to share this with you here. These are 6 ways they say that you know if your house is allegedly haunted. And I thought, well, it's not bad. It's not a horrible article. And I thought I'd pass this on to you guys and see what you think. So it says, we've all heard some stories, and some of us even experience unsettling circumstances in which we sense the presence of a supernatural power. Our brain sensors inform us that there is something else in the room, but we can't see them since the temperature has changed. Or, however, most of us dismiss it, brush it aside, and remain in denial, believing that it is most likely the result of the movies we watch sometimes on television. But just in case, this person says, here are some clues that a ghost may be present in your room that you're about to enter. According to the Pew Research Center, 1 out of every 5 individuals claim that they have either seen a ghost or felt a ghost that was present. 1 out of every 3 people believe that a deceased friend or relative has visited them. That's interesting. So they say first, smell, and I agree with this. Is there a strange, distinct odor that should not be there? For example, if your loved one had a particular perfume or cologne, or if they smoked cigars and no one smokes cigars or wears that cologne or perfume. This is actually frequently referred to as phantom smells. But before you leap to any judgment, have someone else scent the location as well to verify, to validate the claim. Sometimes it says here, when we miss someone, our extremely imaginative human brain tricks us into seeing or smelling things that aren't there. And that's valid. That's absolutely true. Another thing they say is temperature drop. This I absolutely 1,000,000%. Yes, I've experienced this as well. It says here, it might indicate, if you are positive, there's no drought or any type of drafts in the room or air conditioning, but there is one particular cold location that is not unusual. So, for example, I was at Waverly Hills with my buddy David, and we were walking down. I told this, I think we were in the first floor, and the Waverly Hills, there's no air conditioning unit there, and it was hot. It was like really, really hot. It was in the middle of summer. It was like 90 degrees, humid, really humid. And we were walking down the hallway, and it was like someone turned on the air conditioning unit right above us. And it got chilly. And that was very, very, and we both felt like, something's watching us here. So that was interesting. Another thing is a phone battery, or just batteries in general with your electrical equipment, just completely drained, unexpectedly draining. This, again, I absolutely 1,000,000% validate this. Ghosts there's a belief that human spirits require energy to present themselves, to manifest. And I agree with this. Ghosts are supposed to communicate through electricity, like turning on and off the lights, or for similar reasons like electrical equipment. So you have someone in the home, if your phone is fully charged and it drains swiftly, just unusually. Yes, this has happened before on many occasions. That's in Louisville, Kentucky, at Waverly Hills. Also, noises. So it says here, yes, we've all seen in movies where unexplained noises suggest the presence of the supernatural. If you don't have any rodent problems or animals that can make specific noises, you already know what it signifies. It's worth looking into anything that appears out of nowhere. And this, I agree, we've had this as well. There's like what's called EVP. EVP stands for electronic voice phenomena. So if you have a digital recorder and you're playing, is anyone here? What is your name? Whatever it might be, and you hear nothing, but then you play it back on your digital recorder, you can hear something. That's an EVP. Now, I have actually heard of what's called a disembodied voice. A disembodied voice is where you can actually hear it with your own ears, and you also picked it up on the recorder, and I've had both. So that has happened definitely several times before, and I would think that if you've had those experiences or if you had those things, it doesn't mean it's always demonic. I just don't believe. I don't believe everything is demonic. There are some people believe everything is demon, and it's just not the truth. It's just not. Let me just see if I can find something here. Okay. I've played this before. All right. I don't know where it is. There's so many. There's a lot here. I have a lot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is one that I've played before, and this was an EVP, and I've played this before. This was at Eastern Cemetery. That's in Louisville, Kentucky, and Eastern Cemetery. You can do some Google search on that. It's terrible. It's closed down now, but the caretaker actually buried people on top of one another. Well, thank you for the gifts. Thank you. He actually buried people. I do believe in portals. Yeah. So he buried people on top. He reused graves. And sometimes what he did is actually dug up people and then tossed the bodies in a ravine kind of a thing and resold coffins. I mean, he was in prison, by the way. But I went to this place. It's right next to Cave Hill Cemetery, which is beautiful. I don't know if you've ever been. Cave Hill Cemetery is absolutely beautiful. It's in Louisville. But I asked a simple question. Do you know who I am? I just wanted to see if it said James or Bishop Long or something. Well, I didn't hear anything. And this was by the crematorium. I heard nothing. And then I got into my car. And then I played it back. And it was just me. It was just me. I would take a lie detector test right now on this. It was just me. I can verify this. And when I played it back, I got an answer. And it was one of the best EVPs I have ever captured. Here it is.
Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
So what it says is Seth. It sounds like either Set or Seth, but to me it sounds like Seth. When you have it on headsets, noise canceling headsets, you can hear Seth. And I got to tell you, I don't know who Seth is. I have no idea. I have no clue. But I captured this EVP. This EVP was that was a shocker because I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel anything bad, I should say. I always felt like there was a presence there, but I never felt threatened or anything like that. But when I played it back, I mean, you hear Seth.
Do you know who I am?
It's very clear.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. There's you can clear it. You can clearly hear it. This one, let's see. Well,
is there anyone here?
So people say, well, you don't ever play any proof or any sound or anything. Well, here it is. I mean, okay, listen to this. This is at the Gates of Hell Cemetery. And I captured this EVP, and this was pretty intense.
Is there anyone here? Are you friendly?
Now, I'm telling you, the hair stood on the back of my neck when I went back and we know, at that time, we felt threatened because that place is a bad place. That place is a bad, yeah, that's a growl. I mean, that is, the Gates of Hell is demonic. That's why that's why I called it the Gates of Hell. And that place is not a joke. It is not a joke. And when I played that, when I listened to that on the recording, let's see, people always get nasty, and you never play anything. You never play anything. Well, and then I do, and then people say you shouldn't play it. It's like, oh, come on, I can't please everybody. But I try to teach people this stuff it's dangerous. It is very, very dangerous. That is a place that I don't like going there at night. I don't. There's no reason for me to go there at night. And it is it is one of the most violent places that I've ever been. Well, unfortunately, there was a lot of Satanism, a lot of satanic rituals that were performed at the cemetery. And as a matter of fact, I have next week when I show the haunted items, I will be showing one item. I've done this before, that I took from the Gates of Hell Cemetery that was used at a satanic ritual. They had a little altar there where they sacrificed, an animal, but there was a skull there, and so I took it and I dismantled the altar. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I don't care if people like it or not. I don't care. I'll do it again, and I'll do it over and over, because there's been a lot of satanic rituals, Jennifer, that's been performed there, and so it's a terrible place. Yeah, you absolutely, when you go to places like that, you can have an attachment. It's dangerous. It's not that's why I've been teaching now for over 20 years that people need to be very careful with going into places that are demonic, because there's consequences with being an exorcist. But I accept those consequences. And some people don't like it and some people do, but I just okay. But I'm not going to we're going to wrap things up here pretty soon. I'm not going to end on that note, because I'm not going to give these dirty, rotten, low-life, egg-sucking dog cowards the satisfaction of trying to frighten anybody. There's also an EVP, and I've played this before, and people ask me to play it a lot. There was an elderly lady, and she was in Israel. And it's an old little Christian church there, and she loved going there and taking her little tape recorder and listening to the choir. So for those of you who'd never heard this before, so she went there as normal, and she recorded her little tape player, and she recorded them, and it's the Alleluia, and she forgot to turn it off. So she let it record for a while, and then she went home to listen to it. But what was and this was a tape recording. This was not digital, so it's not been doctored in any way. But so this was this has been, sound engineers have heard this, and so this is a 78-year-old woman. So or 78, 80, I forgot how she's elderly, and I believe this was in the 70s, 80s. I can't remember exactly when. But anyway, someone sent this to me and said, you need to have this and share this with people. And it's actually beautiful. So you're gonna hear this. The choir will stop singing. It'll be a pause, and then something miraculous happens. I guarantee you probably, if you're brand new, I guarantee you've never heard this before. So let me play it. That's the choir. They stopped. This
Connected to iPhone 7.
now it's not. Now it's acting. But anyway, it goes on and on. But it's it was quite beautiful. And of course that was she didn't hear anything. They heard nothing. They didn't hear anything, and she just brought that home, and then she played it back. It's hard. You have to really listen to it with the noise canceling. I have the best recording here. You can hear. Do you hear the Alleluia, the refrain? But it's a different. It's a different tone. And the person who did he is an expert on sound engineering, and he said that the sound, the pitch, the hertz, that the Alleluia, that one verse is humanly impossible. He said it's off the chart. There's no human that could match that. So yeah, pretty powerful stuff, isn't it? So yeah, I think it's a completely it's a supernatural octave, yeah, if you will. But yeah, I will. It's a beautiful. It's absolutely a beautiful recording. But yeah, it goes on. Well, thank you for the universe. Thank you. And it goes on. It's quite. Maybe one day I'll play the entire thing. It kind of cut off. I don't know why, but we'll do that again. Why come preacher got to be binged out on jewelry? Oh, you're talking about this one? This is my bishop's ring, and this actually cost $67. Yep, it's from Turkey. That's it, $67. That's it. That's all it was. It is amethyst. Yeah, yeah. So I just the name of is Eli Roth presents Legion of Exorcist. Yeah, $67. I bought it on Etsy. Yep, you can buy it if you can buy it. It's from Turkey. So yeah, people are always going to criticize. They're always, it's like, okay, well, again, if they criticize, I say, yeah, sure, I bought it for $67, and it's sterling silver. It's a beautiful ring, but I bought it on Etsy, so you but I understand. I mean, I understand the question because there are some people that have all these fancy diamonds and all this other stuff, and they're clergy, and I'm like, I've taken a vow of poverty, so I would never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever show you a video of one of my exorcisms. I've already talked about that today. Okay. Most accurate version of Revelation, the movie of Revelation. I haven't seen. You asked me a week ago about what movie is the most accurate in Revelation. I haven't. You know, I don't watch a whole lot of movies, so I don't know. Whoever asked that question, it went by so fast. Do you know any movies that it might spring a memory there, but I don't know any movies about Revelation. Now, about exorcism, I can certainly suggest that, but as far as did you read that thing I sent you from the new? I don't know what thing you're talking about. I have over 900 messages on Messenger and over 14,000 messages on TikTok, so I'm not really for sure. Yeah, I didn't like the Pope's Exorcist. I just thought it was the ending was just silly. It's just dumb. To me, it was so ridiculous. So I wasn't. Well, the ending. I disagree, Antonio. The ending ruined it for me. Everything that led up to it, everything that led up to the ending was really good. I liked it. I was like, okay, I can get behind this movie. But then the ending, it was like, oh, come on. That's so Antonio. That's the only thing that I just really didn't like it. I didn't like it. Nefarious. I have not watched Nefarious yet, but I am planning to watch Nefarious. I might. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it tomorrow, but I will. People always ask about can it open the doors to evil and all this other stuff, and I think if you go there with the intent of opening yourself up to receiving a demonic invitation, well, certainly, but most people go to be entertained. So no, I don't get into now. I don't watch movies there have been movies where there have been chanting demonic names. I won't participate in any type of movie like that. No. Did you see Kevin Bacon? What about Kevin Bacon? Oh, I have not seen an exorcism in another religion, but I have friends that are exorcists in different denominations. Okay. So hang tight, TikTok. I'm going to stay with you guys for just a moment afterwards. So for those of you who are on Spreaker, I'm going to say goodnight to you guys. I want to remind you again, I'm going to hang tight there, TikTok. I'm not leaving. I'll stay with you guys for just a moment. But I want to remind you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have Bible study. And it's not paranormal. We don't discuss paranormal. It has nothing to do with the paranormal. It is strictly Bible study. And that's at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you're more than welcome. I would love to have you guys show up, man. And we would love to. Demonic is absolutely afraid of the rosary. Yeah, the moment you bring the rosary out is the moment you get the most reaction, or at least I have. For those of you on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, again, TikTok, hold on. I always tell you that your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. You're priceless, and don't let anybody convince you or tell you otherwise. So Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, God bless, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night for our Bible study.